Greetings, my name is Mike and welcome to the video, and today I wanted to show how we can mod Dota 2. And by mods, I don't mean create custom games, but I mean change the actual game's content itself, so you can see different things in your normal matchmaking games. A shameless self-plug here is that I've learned all of this by doing the Admiral Bulldog mod, which aims to mod the game similar to what you see on his streams. So if you're a fan of his, I do recommend checking the project out, link below for that. But just so you know, I'm not an expert with this. I've just been sort of stumbling along and trying to figure stuff out myself. But anyway, before we get started, you need two things. You need a program called GCFscape and a tool called VPK Creator. Links below for both of those, so just make sure you have them before you get started. And you also need to install GCFscape on your computer. Now what I want to achieve in the demo is I want to change the sound of Witch Doctor's Ultimate to play this little song that I'm sure many of us are familiar with. Yeah, so I want to change the normal sound to be that. As you can see in the game, it's got the normal sound because I don't have any mods on. This sound will hopefully be changed by the end of the video. But that's what I want to try and do. So I'll just quit Dota 2 and then we can actually start with the modding. So over here I've just got an empty folder on my desktop which I'm going to be working in. I've got VPK Creator over here and then we'll get to this other file a bit later. But the first thing you need to do is open up GCFscape and you'll get a blank screen like this. Then I recommend going to View and ticking Address Bar so you can get this little bar over here and it'll just make it easier to work with. You'll see why shortly. Anyway, the first thing you need to do in here is you go Open and then you need to navigate to your Dota 2 main folder. Right, the main installation folder for Dota 2. It's probably something like CE, Program Files, Steam Apps, Common, Dota 2 Beta, something like that. Anyway, in there you go into Game, Dota, and scroll all the way to the bottom, and you should see a file pack01_dir.vpk. I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and it could take a second or two because it is quite large. Okay, there you go. So once this is opened up, it should look something like this. And what's happening here is this is basically an archive of all of the game's content, just so you are aware of what this actually is. Now, the goal of what we want to use for this program for is to find the file that we want to replace. And we need to get the exact folder that it's in and also the name of the file, right? This can be a bit of a tricky process, kind of by trial and error, but it just does take some patience to actually get working. And then once we've found the file we want to replace, all that you need to do is put it in the same folder and then give it the same name so that DotA will load your file before the default one. But don't worry, I'll show you how it's done shortly. For example, the Witch Doctor sound will live in Sounds, Weapons, Hero, go all the way down to Witch Doctor, and then DeathWard_build. Right, so for this demo, that's what I'm going to be replacing. But for whatever you're doing, you need to find the file itself as well. Now in this video specifically, I'm not going to be going into detail about the different sounds or the different file types. For example, sounds and images and text, because they each have a few extra little steps that you need to do, and I didn't want to put too much detail into this video, but I will be doing them in follow-up videos, so just keep an eye out for those. But for this video, I'm just going to be showing off the general process and how we can actually create mods for Dota 2. Okay, now that we found the file that we're looking for, I'm just going to take note of the folder that it was in. You can find that up here in the address bar. Right, so it was Sounds, Weapons, Hero, Witch Doctor, and then the file itself. Just you need to ignore the root part at the start, that shouldn't really be there. But Sounds, Weapons, Hero, Witch Doctor. So I'm going to go back to my folder and I'm going to extract VPK Creator to the current folder. It'll get a whole bunch of stuff, but for now we're just going to look at this pack01dir folder that it created, which will just be empty. Now in here is where you need to create those folders that we just saw. So I'm going to say New Folder, and it was Sounds. Inside there, Weapons, Hero, Witch Doctor, and that's all. Right? Those are the folders we need to create. Sounds, Weapons, Hero, Witch Doctor. Sounds, Weapons, Hero, Witch Doctor. It needs to be exact, so just take careful note of the path and make sure that the case is the same, right? No capital letters and everything. Must be the same. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the main folder here, and this other file that I had earlier is the sound that I'm going to be replacing the original one with. So I'm going to go and cut that and move it into our Witch Doctor folder over here. And remember, it also had to be named the same, so I'm going to say death ward underscore build, because we are overriding the original file, so the folder and the name must be the same. We're almost done, don't worry. I'm going to go back to the main folder of my mod, and I'm going to run this merge mods file. That'll show a window very quickly and then disappear, but it will spit out this pack01 underscore dir.vpk file, which is sort of what we've been looking for this whole time. This file will just be a little archive that contains all of our modded content. So what I'm going to do is just copy this, and then now we need to go to the main Dota 2 installation folder again. And inside here, you can go into game, and in here, create a new folder. And you should name it something that makes sense, like the name of your mod, whatever that might be. I'm just going to say witch underscore doctor. Oops, if I can spell. And I'm going to paste that VPK file in here. Right. This folder name doesn't matter, but just remember what it is and make sure that it makes sense. Next we go into the DotA folder, and we find a file that's called gameinfo.gi. Let me just show file extensions. Gameinfo.gi, and you can just open this in a normal text editor. I like to use Notepad++. Right. Inside this file, please be very careful what you change, because you could break your game. So just only change what I tell you to. Now if you scroll down a bit, you should find this this search paths little section over here. And inside there is a line that says game space 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 Dota. Now what we need to do is create a new line above game Dota, and you just say game space 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 and the name of the folder you just created. Mine was Witch Doctor, like that. And save the file. That's the only change you must make, is just to add one line above game Dota, which basically tells the game, please load my stuff before the normal Dota stuff. And that's how we can override the resources. And if you want to disable your mod again, you can either just delete this line and save the file, or you can add slashes in front to basically comment it out, meaning it gets ignored. Anyway, I'm going to leave it on, save the file, can close it, and then all you need to do now is actually launch Dota 2 and test it out. Alright, here we go. Let's open up Witch Doctor in demo mode and give it a try. Hopefully I've done everything correctly. Alright, let's level up and create a dummy target, and here goes nothing. Yeah, there we go. So there you go. As you can hear, it does work as expected, which is pretty cool, and I think it does lighten up the game a bit. So there you go, you have the basic process for modding Dota 2. Again, I'm going to make follow-up videos for the different file types, like modding sounds, or changing icons and text and things like that, so do stay tuned. Thanks for watching, hope I was able to help, and cheers for now.